What is going on, guys, and welcome to my first manager mode episode in my first manager mode series. Yes, what is going on, guys, and welcome to a special little video here. In today's video, with me having very little to upload right now until FIFA 16 comes out, I thought I'd treat you guys and show you my first ever career mode on YouTube. Now, I did this way back in 2012 for FIFA 13, and not many of you would have been subscribed to me back then, hardly any would have been, but either way, in this video, what I'm going to do is show you what my first ever career mode was like, some of the funny moments, the good moments as well, and hopefully you enjoy this. It is just something a little bit different, and I'm going to be reacting to sort of how I used to commentate. It's so different to how it is now. It really is. I mean, I haven't changed as much as some YouTubers have, but my commentaries have definitely changed a little bit. So I'll be reacting to some of the things I said, the stupid stuff I said. But either way, hopefully you enjoy this. This should be really good fun. So basically, in this career mode, I was asked to start a manager career mode because I only ever did a player career mode in FIFA 12. A lot of people asked me, well, a few people asked me to do a manager career mode for FIFA 13. So I decided to start at Brighton Hove Albion, not entirely sure why. And the first thing we had to deal with was this transfer saga with Lewis Dunk here, who wanted to leave the club. Especially at your age, so I offered him some more money and hopefully he would accept, and this time he says yeah. Surprise, surprise, he accepts when I give him more money. So yeah, Lewis Dunk signs a new 5-year deal. And yeah, Lewis Dunk was really one of the original heroes, the probable original hero of any of my saves, really. He was a centre-back, and basically in this save, he did stay for the duration of it. He was probably one of the original heroes, if not the original hero, and that's why signing Lewis Dunk to a new contract was so important at the time. And then we move on to something which was really cringeworthy. I thought I was being funny at this moment in time, but basically I signed Frimpong on loan from Arsenal, and he set up Josh King for a late assist in this game to rescue us a point, and then I just said this. Sick volley in injury time to level the score, and I just turned around from the dugout, looked at the Bolton fans, shushed the crowd and just said, "Leave it, yeah." Oh god, I mean, I don't know why I thought saying something like that was really, funny in any way. And even when I'm trying to be sarcastic and taking the mick, I still sound like an idiot. And if you thought that was bad, I mean, it gets even worse at this moment here. Past Wes Hoolahan, with just a few minutes to go. Smashing the ball past John Ruddy for a dench goal. Oh my goodness. Oh dear. For a dench goal by Emmanuel Frimpong. Leave it, yeah. Oh god, and when I thought it just couldn't get worse, I carried on. I mean, seriously, I'm being ironic here, I'm being sarcastic, I'm not genuinely meaning what I'm saying, but it still sounds so silly and so stupid. I was 19 back at this time, 22 going on 23 now, but either way, it's crazy to think I was saying that sort of stuff and thinking it was funny. But anyway, with Brighton, it was the first season, and I got them promoted via the playoffs. We beat Leeds in the final, which was secretly really nice, and we got ourselves through to the Premier League in our debut year, so I was really pleased with that. Getting Brighton up to the Premier League was important in our first season, and this was the team I took up with me, and it really wasn't a great team at all. We'd made some okay signings, some decent youngsters in there as well, but either way, it wasn't really a great team, and you won't be surprised to know that I was sitting bottom of the Premier League table, and we weren't doing very well. And then a couple months down the line, basically, we got our first ever job offer from Spurs. But here's the big one. Here's the big one. Tottenham Hotspur have come in for me. They want me to manage their side. Daniel Levy basically just said, "I like what you've done with Brighton, sitting in bottom place at the table. And I'd love to have you at Spurs." And I thought to myself, am I going to take this? I ended up stalling the offer, as you'll see here. And this was back in the day, and I didn't do straw polls back then. I basically made the decisions myself. So I thought with Brighton currently sitting bottom place, Spurs are only 2 points off Champions League, I thought in the next episode I would take it. I thought that would be the best decision for everyone. The contract offer was there. Stay at Brighton or go to... Oh, I've already done it. Oh dear, yeah, I went to Spurs. I didn't time that very well, did I? I went to Spurs. I couldn't turn it down. 7th place in the league. 1 point off a Champions League place. And Brighton are bottom. Let's face it, I was going to get them relegated. Yeah, so I took the Spurs job, and I didn't make it as sort of exciting as it could have been, really. But either way, I took the Spurs job, went to a new club for the first time in any of my saves, and it was also the first time we ever got to see this player, Paolo Gazzaniga. It's still crazy to this day to know that very few people know the origins of Gazza and what he's all about. But either way, Gazza made his first appearance ever in any of my saves. We also signed a guy called Kim Ojo. You may have remembered him from my Millwall save. Had him way back in the first ever career mode I did. Ojo came with a Spurs, and this this guy turned out to be another one of those sort of cult heroes, if you will. Not as much as some that have been in my saves before, but either way, we'd eventually return to Brighton in the save as well, and in this season we returned to Brighton for the first time. I tried to big it up as a really big game, you know, me returning to my former club for the first time, leaving them in a mess and seeing how the fans are going to react and everything, and we fell behind the second minute by Sterling scoring a goal for Brighton. We then equalised in the 12th minute with Dembele scoring, and then I said this. But in the 70th minute, Gylfi Sigurdsson picks the ball up here, goes down the left-hand side. What on earth was Mexico Lopez doing? Gets caught out in possession, and what a strike by my Icelandic playmaker. Sigurdsson with the goal to put me 2-1 in front. I was running up and down the touchline Mourinho style. The fans were booing me, throwing plastic bottles and cups at me. The fans were booing me, throwing plastic bottles and cups at me. Yep, sure they were. But either way, we went 2-1 up in this game through Sigurdsson, the Icelandic playmaker. Then Bale made it 3-1. Brighton then scored again to make it 3-2. We held on for a 3-2 victory. It was one of the first sort of big games really in any of my saves. It was a lot of fun regardless. And yeah, again, I don't know why I said that, but it was quite funny at the time. Anyway. But as I was away on international duty, Spurs were sending me emails, and I tell you what, Daniel Levy has got some unrealistic aims. This is ridiculous. Spurs want me to win the league title, they want me to win the Europa League, and they want me to win a domestic cup as well, so complete a treble, and I've got to do it all with £23 million. I mean, if I was given a Manchester City kind of budget, maybe I'd be able to do that, but they want me to win everything. I mean, I can see why AVB was sacked now when I took over, because I can't do all of that with my side. They're nowhere near good enough for that kind of thing. So yeah, going into the third season, and Daniel Levy had some unrealistic aims, as I called them, and we also sold Hugo Lloris, one of the best goalkeepers in the world at the time, 92 overall, 27 years old, to Real Madrid for, I think it was 26 million pounds. This was back when I had literally no idea how to do transfers or anything. Like, I had no idea what players were worth, and it was just ridiculous selling Lloris for such a cheap deal. But either way, this is coming into the third season here with Spurs, and it was just so much fun, you know, back in the day, and you could probably tell in my voice, the commentaries I'm showing you there. You know, even back then, I really enjoyed making these videos for you guys, even though back then I didn't get too many views. I don't get too many views nowadays either, but even back then it was still so fun for me, and my commentaries have changed a little bit, but either way, this was the game where Butland was on fire against United away at Old Trafford, another sort of fun game really to play in, which I thought I'd show you regardless. And then we move into something else here. And that was how the game finished at 3-1. And yeah, Ben Amos then comes to me and says he wanted a bigger role at the club. And I was thinking, you know, being here for 3 months, I gave you future first team player status. What were you thinking? But that was a bit odd. But keep an eye on that, because he comes back to us in the next episode. Absolutely hilarious. But yep, even back then, player conversations were completely broken. Players had absolutely no intelligence whatsoever. We're in FIFA 15 now, FIFA 16 coming out very soon, and I bet we're going to have the same problems still, with players having absolutely no intelligence and no understanding of what squad roles even are. Either way, following that, we had this game against Chelsea during the season. It was the first time as well I ever saw a goalkeeper get a red card. My reaction was a little bit subpar, really, for the first time I'd seen it, but either way, we saw a goalkeeper get a red card for the first time. And then following that, I decided to do an episode a little bit differently to how I've been doing these ones. Now, as you're watching these videos on the screen, these episodes here, what I forgot to mention at the start was that these episodes were only like 3, 4, sometimes 5 minutes long, and then listen to what I say at the start of this episode here. What is going on, guys, and welcome to a 10-minute special of Manager Mode. It's the first time I've gone into double figures in terms of video length in this series, and I hope you enjoy it. Yeah, so back then, like a 10-minute video, that was like my hour-long special. Can you believe that? Like every single career mode episode I put out nowadays is almost always a minimum of 10 minutes, you know, and sometimes I do specials for 50s and 100s and just special videos like half an hour long, whatever. A 10-minute video back then, that was a special. That was a special back then. A 10-minute video was just insane length. And it was like that because back then I was recording on an old MacBook, which my dad now has, and it was really old and it was very, very slow. It took so long to render file footage and get the episodes made, and then to actually upload like a 3-minute video would take like an hour long, so I was using just ridiculously bad internet, just like a step up from dial-up, really. It was just hilariously bad, but either way, that's what these videos were like, to be honest. And then we scored probably the goal of the series back then, as it would have been, through Lucina Traore, who was one of my favourite ever signings in any career mode I've ever done. It's a shame I've never signed him again, but he was just unreal. I've always liked using Traore as a 6'8" lanky striker that I bought in for Spurs. Probably the goal of the series, that one. And then at the end of this season, we had a potential title decider against Chelsea. I did this as a one-game special. Sigurdsson opened the scoring, then we made it 2-0 here after we won ourselves a penalty. Traore scored this one as well, so we were 2-0 up in this game in a potential title decider at the end of the season to try and complete a big aim. Chelsea battled back from 2 goals down to equalise and make it 2-2 on the stroke of half-time with Kevin De Bruyne, now a City player in real life. How about that? And of course, later on in the game, to hopefully secure the title, we'd win ourselves a second penalty in the game. Courtois got another red card, and we won ourselves the game after we converted a penalty. And this was one of those sort of big games in the series, one of those ones we look back on at the end of it, and I think that was one of the sort of the key moments of the series, really. So we won this game, and of course that meant that come the end of the season, we would also win the title as well. Then we move on to probably one of my worst puns ever. But I offered him 140 grand and a new, I think it's 3-year contract. But oh man, the worst news. Gareth Bale says he's going to turn down the contract extension. He says he wants to change his career. And as you can see here, Bale refuses the contract. And I was sitting there just thinking, don't bail on us. Get it? Don't bail on us. B-A-I-L. Bale as in, you know, he's bailing on us. And then B-A-L-E is his surname. Yeah, you get it. Yeah, I thought that title as I was doing this. But yeah, don't bail on us, I was saying. A little pun. He laughed. He was in the manager's office. I said, Gareth, don't bail on us. And he laughed. And he said, yeah, because you said that, I'm definitely going to stay. Great joke, boss. But yeah, I've repeated that in different episodes, in different series, and it never gets any better, does it? I don't know why I thought that was funny, but either way, Bale wouldn't end up bailing on us. We would keep hold of him, and this was one of the final squads I ever got with Spurs, because this series never actually had a proper ending to it. Unlike most saves I do, where we have a proper ending, usually in a Champions League final a lot of the time, but this one never did, because sadly the save file actually corrupted. This was the final game we ever played. It was a Champions League semi-final, second leg against Bayern Munich. It went all the way down to penalties, and as you watch the penalty shootout, we would actually go ahead and win it and get through to the Champions League final with our hope of possibly winning our first ever Champions League title in the series. But yeah, sadly the save file ended up being corrupted, and we wouldn't be able to play in the Champions League final, possibly win it for the first ever time on YouTube, which was really, really frustrating. I talked about it basically in the background of this episode. It was the final one, and that was basically the end of that. So I was really sad about how this series sort of ended, because it was the first one I ever did on YouTube, and I had so much fun with it. It really was just so entertaining, so enjoyable for me every single day to make the episodes and put them out. I never thought I would change into a career mode YouTuber, and this is the first one I ever did. You know, before that I was doing Ultimate Team and Player Career Mode. This is the first ever manager save I ever did. I never thought I was going to sort of do loads of series in the future, but that's exactly what my channel's been turned into, because the support on this series was so good. And even back then, when even barely anyone watched me and left likes and left comments, just the little, you know, the little comments here on there saying great video, I enjoyed this, people saying they got laughs from it, not sure where exactly in my videos, but they said they enjoyed the stuff, you know, it meant so much. And sadly, it was the final episode because we couldn't play anymore after the save file corrupted, but I just had so much fun, and I thought I'd show you this video here, basically just my career mode, my first ever one, and show you what it used to be like back in the day, and to show you that, you know, even to this day, I'm still so thankful to have so much support, because I just love making these videos for you guys, and I love putting them out there on YouTube as well for you guys to watch. But thank you very much for watching the video. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you'd like me to do another one of these for another save or another series I've done on YouTube, then feel free to let me know in the comments. But hopefully you did enjoy the video regardless. Sorry about my terrible puns and terrible jokes in this video. That's what I used to be like back in the day. Hopefully you enjoyed the video though. Please do leave a like if you did enjoy it, and I'll see you for another video on my channel very soon.